work together before it's too late. Spread the peace, stop the hate. Join the peace police, keep America great.
Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to the Peace Police broadcast. I'm Rick White and I have my brother, friend, cohort, partner in crime, Lowell Pass. How you doing, brother Lowell?
Good. How y'all doing?
Man, I tell you, it's been we haven't been on for a few weeks. We had a couple of personal things and various things going on, but since the last time we've been on, everything's kind of gone nuts, hasn't it, Lowell? The
It's going
election
absolutely nuts.
is
Just
still not
another
over.
fulfillment of my dream.
I know. The election is still not decided. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, no matter what you are being told, it's far from over.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, and we had all kinds of different potential visions of what might happen. The reason that Peace Police even came about all these years, or a couple years ago now, right? The reason
Yep.
that it came about was because you had gotten a vision of some of the stuff that might have been, it was really a dream, right? Of some of the stuff that might be going on. And we saw some of that happen during the first term of Trump. And we were all nervous about what it would be like if Trump wins or Biden wins. And so what's it been like? It's like this protest that we've done, that conservatives have done, wasn't really a protest, kind of like a march recently, right, in Washington. Did you
Yesterday,
did you know did you notice how peaceful that was, brother?
hundreds of thousands of people stretching from the Capitol to the White House to the Supreme Court, and it was as peaceful as could be, except when it ended and about 90% of the Trump people had already gone, and then you had a fringe element of Antifa and BLM waiting between the streets and waiting in the shadows
Yeah.
to attack Trump people, even old people and families with kids, and beat the hell out of them. And unbelievable, I got to tell you.
It is unbelievable. And we talk about peace police as being, people from the left and people from the right are welcome. We don't make any bones that we're conservatives and that we're Trump supporters. We don't make any bones about that. But we try to, stay with the issue of no matter what happens, let's remain peaceful, civil, and have discourse. Our three pillars, right? Talking about our three core values. I hate to use the word pillars because it sounds like a religion, right? But the three
Core value.
three core values. We talk about that, but what I'm going to say right now is going to sound like I'm being partisan. But you know what? Sometimes the facts are just show one party in one light and another party in another light. All things are not equal. Facts are facts. And here's a fact. Conservatives don't riot over politics. That's just a fact. We just proved it. Right? But
Yeah, they have protests and they have
right.
marches.
Of
But
course.
they don't beat the hell out of people or burn up buildings or
Right.
shoot cops
Or steal
We
TVs.
just, they just you don't see it happening.
I know. It's amazing to me, and I'm blown away that people won't own that. They always try to
They
bring up.
won't admit that. Well, the media, see, they have the media on their side because the media has been so biased over
Right.
the years, but never so much as in the past 4 years.
Yeah. And they bring up stuff like Timothy McVeigh, who was, quote, conservative. And what he did was absolutely horrific. But he was a nut job. He wasn't conservative.
Yeah.
He wasn't the typical conservative. He was a mass murderer,
That's right.
And you can't stack someone like that up against daily riots in the streets of Philadelphia and Detroit.
Yeah,
And
packs, droves and packs of these thugs. Yeah.
yeah, it's really unfortunate. Another thing I wanted to talk about, Lowell, and then you've got some really interesting things about this election. It's not over, is it, bro?
No, because the media doesn't declare who is the winner. And I've noticed even Facebook have gotten so much flack that over the past couple of days they've changed it from president-elect, they put a tag. It's funny, they've never done this before, but they're putting a little election tag after every post that a Trump supporter puts.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, whether it's Trump himself or any supporter, they put all this thing about how elections are fair and all this,
Yeah.
and they've been calling him president-elect, but they just changed that yesterday to projected president.
Projected. That's more accurate, at least.
That's actually more accurate.
Yeah.
And that's what the news media should do. But they're not doing it. In fact, you're not even hearing all sides that we're going to touch base and show you a little bit of the other
That's
side
right.
today.
Yeah.
Just so you can have a realistic, instead of saying, just accept this, folks, you're going to have 75 million people with a big, not just a reasonable doubt, but a pretty strong doubt that Biden won if we don't get to the bottom of a lot of this and verify it and double check. I mean, look, this may sound harsh, but only cockroaches run from the light.
That's right. That's right.
So if you're a Democrat even, or a socialist, whatever, let's know who really won so that we can try to appeal to the other side instead of hiding stuff. And I've just got to tell you, we've got big name attorneys.
Right.
We're going to play something for you in a second that came through at 2 a.m. A tweet from Lynn Wood, who is a world renowned. He just won the lawsuit for Nicholas Sandmann against CNN for $350 million. And he joined the Trump team last week, as did, this shocks people, Trey Gowdy.
Right.
Joined the team. This is after supposedly Trump is supposed to just accept the election how it is, just accept. No, we got Gowdy, and you got, of course, Giuliani, America's mayor, and you got Sidney Powell, who defended Flynn, got him cleared. So you got a lot of world-renowned attorneys with an impeccable record of integrity coming into this just now. They're not staying away from it. They're risking their reputation because the evidence is so overwhelming to at least look at this,
Yeah, there's no way that Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood and these other folks you're talking about would risk their reputations if this is a done deal and we're at the end and it's not, even if they believed it was fraudulent, they might look at it and go, yeah, it is, but it's not worth the fight right now. But for those guys to put it all on the line is amazing. I wanted to just talk about something before we show that, One thing, Lowell, was I remember when Trump got elected, I had a lot of family members on the West Coast that were just very, very liberal, very pro-abortion, very anti-Trump. And I knew that they would be hurting. And so I made a post 4 years ago, and I said, listen, we happen to win this time. People from, that believe like me won. But we shouldn't lose family over this. So let's, in the end, whoever's the president will be gone at some point, and we still are family, and we should get together. And then some family members, kind of a little bit aggrieved, but relatively nicely, we talked through some things and agreed to disagree, right? But this time, it's so funny. This time I have a friend who posted things like, and I love this person a lot, posted things like, if anyone votes for Trump, that person is a racist. That's a ridiculous statement. And then for that person to come on right after the election and try to say the same thing back to me and others, like, hey, listen, now that it's all over, let's come together. That's hypocrisy. And that's what's happening. You don't get to, the way it's like this. It'd be like if you went up to a big guy in the schoolyard and poked him in the eye. And then after you poked him and said, you know what, let's not fight. What do you mean? He's going to beat your ass because you started something, and then after you start it, you say, "Oh, but I don't want any conflict." What do you mean you don't want? It's like dropping a bomb on someone and saying, "Yeah, but we're not going to war." I mean, it's insane. And it's not just my friend. There's a lot of people out there, Biden supporters, that are acting like, let's just all come together and we can all work together. And even Biden himself saying we're going to make the planet nicer, and we're gonna bring us together. The Democrats, especially for the last 4 years, have been doing anything but bringing people together. So the hypocrisy's
Yeah,
everywhere.
well, and the party has embraced your Antifas and your BLM. That they're self-avowed on their own websites, Marxists.
Right.
Burning up buildings and destroying police cars, and over 50 policemen have been shot and killed.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable that you would embrace, if you're trying to be a legitimate party of unity, that you would embrace those kinds of far left thugs. And we saw it again yesterday at the end of the Trump rally, which had just multitudes of people there stretching everywhere. That's why I say, if you're wanting peace, you're going to have 75 million people that they're peaceful people, because you could tell by the march they were.
Right.
But they're not going to be giving you a unity that you don't deserve.
Right.
And then you turn right around after 4 years of calling, Trump every name in the book, Nazi, all these things, and saying that, he's an illegitimate president. Of all things, they want to just accept that Biden is a legitimate president, when there's all kinds of things. There's, just to mention a few, there's over 350, by the way, sworn affidavits under penalty of law, perjury.
Right.
And many of them, dozens of them, Democrats who were part of the vote counting system, that came forward and said, no, wait a minute. This is what they told me to do, and it ain't right.
Yeah.
And so you got signatures that don't match. You got machines that have been set from 99% verification down to 40%.
Yes.
So that you could sign John Henry, what is supposed to be Thomas Williams, and it would say accepted.
It's funny. I joke around like that sometimes when I sign with my finger at the restaurant, because they never verify it. So sometimes I draw smiley faces and draw a picture of a cat or something, or just sometimes it'll say sign with your finger below. So I'll write the words your finger. Right. The point is, obviously, if someone were going to verify that, they'd call me and say, was this really you? And I'd say, yes. And I'm sorry. I was just joking. But you could literally do that with your ballot. That's how crappy the signature thing is.
And then in Nevada here, you had 180,000 ballots sent out to people that aren't even registered voters.
Right. I know. It's
so
crazy.
Anybody could sign that thing, send it in, and they found over 3,500 cases of people that had moved out of the state, and yet their ballots still showed up. So those are just some of the minor examples. More of the major examples is what have brought these world-renowned lawyers in, such as Sidney Powell and Giuliani, but mainly Lynn Wood and people, Trey Gowdy, because there has been software manipulation that switched entire votes by the tens of thousands. And that's not hearsay. You're about to hear Lynn Wood shock you if you really listen to what he's about to say, because he tweeted this at 2 a.m. And, just like a typical news person, challenges him and says, listen, we've heard this a lot before and everything else, but how confident are you? And you're going to hear him say 100% confident.
Wow.
And a Lynn Wood does not say that unless there is a lot of evidence. I can tell you.
Let's play that. Let's play that right now. And bottom line is, it ain't over, right, brother? That's what we're gonna say.
Right, and when it is, if it's double checked and verified, then people who have integrity will go along with that, and they will say, Biden's our president.
That's right. Just like we did when I did not vote for Barack Obama. I never said he wasn't my president, and
Never.
I tried to support him. And when he did something right, I said, yeah, he did that right.
Right.
Right? That's just the way we're supposed to be. But
It was a rarity, but
all right, let's I'm going to play this right now, and then we'll talk afterwards. This is about Lowell, this is like 20 minutes. Are we going to do the whole thing, you think? Or I mean, I'm okay with that, but
wow.
that's long. I just realized it was 20 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? Put up is there a way to show the link or the Facebook link?
You
Well,
mean the
go ahead and
YouTube
just play
link?
the first.
We'll play
Go ahead
some
and
of
play
it.
the first part of it because he goes more into depth later. But I think some of the
Okay.
teasers here will be in
We'll
the
play
first
some
part,
of it,
you'll-
and then yeah, we'll post the link as well in the comments. In fact, I'll put the link in the comments right now. That's easy to do. Let me see here.
copy and paste it maybe.
Yeah. All right. So the link is in the comments, but let's watch a little bit of this video, and then Lowell and I will come back here in just a second.
These are times. These are times that try men's souls, as Thomas Paine would say. And sometimes you have a tendency to get down. You just this drumbeat from the press, the mainstream media, even Fox, trying to convince you Joe Biden's won the election. You're always looking for glimmers of hope and from optimists, and that's what we try to provide that for you every afternoon. And this morning I woke up and I was looking over the tweets, and I saw a tweet from L. Lynn Wood. He's a famous lawyer. We can get into some of the cases. He had Nicholas Sandman, for instance, from Covington Catholic, and he was involved in the Richard Jewell case a while back. I think he represents Kyle Rittenhouse now and the Kenosha shooter who defended himself. And he's working on the campaign on the challenges. And he put out a tweet at 2:35 this morning. Time now to rest. Comfortable in my belief that real Donald Trump won a historic landslide victory across nation on November 3rd. Be patient. Biden will never be president of our nation. To the contrary, Biden, along with many others, will be an inmate. Be patient. Trust Trump. Joining us now is Lynn Wood. Thank you for that encouraging tweet. That really improved my mood, and I'm sure hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of other people this morning. Lynn Wood.
Well, thank you, Howie, and it's a pleasure to speak with you. That tweet was at 2:35 a.m., and that not only speaks to, I think, the time and effort that I've been putting into this, but really it reflects almost round-the-clock efforts by members of the legal profession and ordinary people of this country that are determined to not only uncover the truth, but to expose the truth. And when all is known, I am 100% confident that Donald Trump will be president of the United States for 4 more years, and I'm just as confident that Joe Biden and the people like him that have been trying to steal this election and committing crimes for years, they're going to all go to jail.
Wow, I'm going to stop that right there. That was amazing. Hold on, Lowell. Hold on 1 second, brother.
$100.
I had to unmute you. Sorry. That's amazing. So he said he's 100% confident that Trump will remain president, and he's also 100% confident that Joe Biden's going to be an inmate.
And many other people involved.
Wow. And you're right. This guy's
That's the part that got me, is because a Lynn Wood being an attorney they don't go there unless, and they don't even say they're 100% certain.
Yeah. I know. It blows me away. And one casualty of this whole thing has been Fox News. I've been a loyal Fox News watcher
me too.
for I don't know, 20 years or whatever at least. And I can't watch them anymore. I have to watch Newsmax, which I like. It's not quite as glitzy or polished as Fox was because they didn't have a ton of money, but they're growing. And I can't believe Fox had who's the female lawyer we've been talking about?
Sidney Powell, another giant.
Fox had her on, right, on the Fox Business Network, but
Lou Dobbs,
the Fox News Network, I just watched them say there is absolutely zero evidence anywhere that any cheating happened in this election. In fact,
That's just not.
it was the cleanest election we've ever had. That's what they're saying. I couldn't believe it. So I mean, that really sucks. But you know what? It just goes to show you that money and power will corrupt anybody. You know,
Wow.
and it sucks. You know,
Well, and there's a reason too, Rick, why the German government allowed the U.S. Army and the intelligence corps on Friday afternoon to raid the offices of, I think the company is called Cint or whatever. But
yeah, it's like
connected with-
SCYNTH or something like something like that.
Yeah, and it's
Cintal.
connected with the Dominion Software.
Right.
It's a Spanish company that is in bankruptcy, but they seized the German government allowed, because of the evidence produced, them to seize all the servers, and these votes in the United States were changed from that location in Germany.
Right. That software, its whole purpose is to throw elections toward dictators, right? They use it for Chavez. It's to give give the appearance that there's a democracy, but there's not really. And we
already know the Dominion Software switched in one county over 6,000 votes from Trump to Biden. And like Sidney Powell says, that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. We're talking hundreds of thousands of votes. Now, we're not saying we're sure about all that. We're just saying that shouldn't Americans want to look at that? Whether you're even, unless you're just a hardcore Marxist, wouldn't you want to just look at that? And do you really believe that a Sidney Powell and a Lynn Wood and a Trey Gowdy would put their names and their reputations out there if it was totally bogus? I'm thinking not.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. And if we lose our elections, we lose everything.
You lost it all.
We're a democracy. Actually, we're a constitutional republic. But it's about elections. It's always been about elections, free and fair elections. And has there been a little bit of meddling by foreign nations in all of our elections? Yeah, to some degree. But
the 50s,
but not like when you go to sleep for 2 hours and then you wake up and they found another 100,000 votes that weren't counted, and not a single one of them went to Donald Trump. That's
that's what Linwood says in the rest of the interview there. He says the problem is they've been doing this, trying to infiltrate and take over the government and our freedoms for over 2 decades. He said, but what happened this time is they went way too far.
Right. That's right.
And their fingerprints are all over it. And he says and Sidney also said it, over 1.8 million votes have been changed.
Wow. So we have to care about that. If we don't care about that, then we lose confidence in our elections, and the system can always be manipulated then. And if this doesn't get exposed completely, then man, this might sound like a radical thing to say, and I get in trouble for saying it, but we may end up losing America as we know it, because if this gets swept under the rug, there's no way that a Democratic administration is going to bring it out. So it's going to be swept under the rug for at least 4 years, and that gives people a lot of time to cover their butts, right? This has to be brought out now. This election has to be overturned.
And tell you the truth, even back in December and November of 2019, Elizabeth Warren and several Democrats came out about this Dominion software. All of a sudden, everybody forgot about that, but it's on the record. They came in Congress. They complained about this software that switches votes, and So it's not just Republicans, the ones who brought it up first, but of course the FBI, who they may come get me after this show, Rick. But
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
not so confident in the FBI after all the things that went down against Trump. And they brought up this stuff about the software for about 3 years,
Right.
and the FBI has done absolutely nothing about it.
The FBI has evidence. Now, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I trust the sources that we've checked out. They have evidence in Hunter Biden's laptop that Joe Biden committed serious crimes. They went after Trump for the emoluments clause and using your office to make money, all that stuff. Well,
but everybody heard the call.
Yeah, Biden apparently, actually, literally, while vice president, said, I'll hold back. Well, we saw that one thing where he admits we're going to hold back funding until you fire the lawyer that's coming against my son.
Prosecutor, right?
Or the prosecutor. And then the other thing is, Ukraine, I think, is now saying that no, we actually paid Joe Biden directly. So
they've named him in a felony lawsuit in the Ukraine. Most people are never going to hear this stuff,
right?
Because your major news networks are all owned by 3 major corporations that are far left, and they're not letting the news out. This is kind of like the Soviet Union when Pravda, was the news source of the official of the Communist Party,
right?
And what we've got here is the inability for news people to have the honesty to say both sides of an issue.
That's right. It's crazy, brother. It is. So, for you folks checking us out and listening, as I said, we've been gone for a couple of weeks and the whole world has changed. But now more than ever, we need to stand behind a concept like the peace police, because if what is right, I believe what is right, and many people, including, like we've already talked about, seriously high-profile lawyers, believe that Trump actually won this election. If that actually ends up happening and this gets overturned, you haven't seen anything yet about riots. I mean, I think the riots and the unrest is going to go through the roof. And so,
yeah, in fact, Rick, my dreams were far more dramatic than what we've seen. Even though we've seen horrible stuff, they were much bigger than that. And I got to tell you, I encourage everybody to watch that entire link, or I should say listen to it. It's a radio show, so you're not going to see video. But he goes into how it will all come down to the state legislatures, and it will all come to the House of Representatives then. And it's not that your House of Representatives have more Democrats than Republicans. The way it works in that case, if it should be decided in the House, is that each state has one vote. Not like 380 something representatives, mostly being one party or the other. No, each state has one vote, and it depends on the states. And in this case, you're going to have about 32 Republican states. So it's a question of whether or not they sell out or they go by the people's wishes. But I think there's so much yet to be done that we have to at least give it the Al Gore standard, which was, I think, 6 weeks, 37 days or something, before this can be verified who won the election.
Yeah, and that's just the law. That's just reality. No one is president. No one is ever president until the Electoral College votes. And that doesn't happen till December something. 14th. So there is no new president yet. Donald Trump is still the president, and he will be the president till the end of January, even if Biden wins. But the bottom line is no one has won. And you brought it up in the beginning. We now take the media's word as gospel in this country.
No, we should never.
And it's really a bad thing, man. The media is, you talk about the tail wagging the dog. It's like the media is wanting to overthrow the government.
overthrow the government.
It's a
And
coup.
look at the dossier that was paid for by the Democratic National Convention
Yeah.
in Clinton that showed Russia, all attacking Trump, and it's already been proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that was all a fraud.
Right.
But the media was continuing to, and to this day, they still think there was that Russian involvement with Trump.
Hmm.
And they just wouldn't accept the victory. They expect us to, have peace and civility and discourse and lovely brotherly unity when they never did it for 4 years. So
I know.
we're going
It's
to give it at
amazing.
least a few weeks.
Exactly. So our encouragement to you folks listening and watching this in the replays and stuff is, listen, be calm, be patient, and don't. And I don't even have to say this to conservatives, but be peaceful. That's what the Peace Police is about. Be peaceful.
And want truth to come out.
Yes, the truth shall set you free, right? We want
That's
the
right.
truth. Be peaceful, but I also will say this: be prepared. Be prepared, because I don't think we've seen anything with regard to civil unrest like we will see if this gets overturned. And then what'll happen, right? The civil unrest will be so severe that Donald Trump will have to send out the National Guard, and that will make it'll make the left even crazier, because they'll say now he's a military dictator or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Bottom line is, if what's supposed to happen, in my opinion, does happen, we're in for a little bit of a
We're in for a wild time.
a wild
And I got
ride.
to tell you one last thing I want to say. I know this show's gone a little long.
Nah,
but
it's good.
anybody, I think, that has an honest heart about this, and I'm not trying to be political here, is why wouldn't we want to double check everything with one Republican here and one Democrat here? Put on full facial gas masks if you need to, to make it, because the whole COVID thing was used really to send in universal mail-in
Right.
balloting, which we've never had more than like 12 million sent in that way, and we had over 100 million
Right.
sent in that way, which just amplifies the chance of fraud. But I would say, why wouldn't anybody be for a new election where everybody's residence, your residence, your citizenship, and your signature are all double checked, and the only people voting are legal votes? Why wouldn't we want that? I mean, I can't even think of one logical reason why we wouldn't want to know the full truth.
I have to hope that there are at least some percentage of Democrats that are honest enough to say that. I hope so. Because if not,
I can't think of a good reason why you wouldn't want that.
if not, then we literally have 50% of the country that has abandoned reason and is just moving based on hatred. It's so funny that they accuse Donald Trump of being a hater and a bigot. But the hatred for him drives people to seething, foaming at the mouth. It just blows me away.
Yeah, it's truly a deranged.
It is. It is. Well, hey, these are the times. So again, remain peaceful, civil, and let's talk about things. But also, be careful. Be careful out there. Protect yourself, because stuff could be coming. Check out peacepolice.net, our website. You could get one of these hats. Maybe the time for this movement is right in front of us.
Time to have billions of people with these hats saying,
that's right.
Hey, knock it off. Both sides. Knock it off.
Knock it off. That's right. So help us if you want. Go to peacepolice.net. You can click on Patreon and help us there. Listen, we don't make any money from this, but we want to get more shows like this out and bring you. And you know what? It sounds crazy, Lowell, but alternative news sources, even like this, which is really almost like a podcast, alternative news sources are going to be all that's left that tell the truth at some point. And so we're going to tell the truth. And we're going to play these videos for you and these actual words of people that you won't see even on Fox anymore. So keep tuning in, all right? We'll see you all next week. Have a great day.
See you, folks.
Spread the peace, stop the hate. Let's work together before it's too late. Spread the peace, stop the hate. Let's work together before it's too late. Spread the peace, stop the hate. Let's work together before it's too late. Spread the peace, stop the hate. Let's work together before it's too late. Now brave men died to keep you free. They paid the greatest price, so you could speak your mind and live a long and happy life. But I turn on the news and see us fighting with each other.